Hi everyone, so this week's question or topic on the Crunchy Life is about education, how we are planning to educate our children, whether we're going to choose traditional schooling or homeschooling or unschooling. So I have 3 children who are school age at the moment. So I have Harry, who is about to turn 12, Charlie's 10, and Matilda is 7. So right from the start, I guess my way of parenting has changed quite a bit over the last 12 years. When I started, I followed the books and I listened to people's advice, and I did things that didn't feel right to my mother instinct, but I still did them anyway, and because I thought that that was what you were supposed to do, you know, all the advice that you were given. And not long into being a parent of Harry, we realised that he was a bit different. So when he was in preschool, he went to a traditional preschool, not a daycare, a proper run preschool. His teacher came to us and said, we think you should have him assessed to see if he's gifted. So we didn't do anything at that time, but we did put him into traditional public school in Australia. So he went to a traditional public school in Australia. At that time, I didn't really know anything about homeschooling and certainly nothing about unschooling. So there was never any doubt what we were going to do. We were going to put them in school. So Harry went to school, and when he was in year 1, his teacher came to us again and said, we'd like our counsellor to assess him, and they did assess him, and at that point he was in the 98th percentile for his age across all areas. So he was considered to be gifted. So that gave us a bit more to think about as far as his schooling went, because eventually I do need to go back to work. If we want to own our own house, I'm going to have to work. So it became a matter of necessity that they go to school. As the years have gone on, obviously Charlie's gone to school and Matilda's gone to school. And Amelia will also go to public school. The public school in our area is really good. It is not huge, and the class sizes are pretty good. They're between 22 and 28 in the class. So Harry went right through our local primary school. He was in extended class for the last 2 years, called an OC class in Australia, and he sat for selective high school tests and got into our local selective high school. In fact, his mark was good enough to get into the highest selective high schools in Australia, and the highest one in Australia in Sydney is James Roos. So he got the marks to actually get into James Roos, but he wanted to go to Penrith. We gave him, he wanted to go to his local high school. So we gave him the choice to go to the local high school or the local selective school, and he chose the selective school, and he is really, really enjoying it, and we don't regret giving him that choice. At the same time, most of the things that he has the biggest knowledge on, most of the things that he has excelled at as far as knowledge goes, like his sciences, his the life cycle of dinosaurs and, you know, all the ages. He knows all the ages. He knows all the kings and queens of England and you know, the periods that they lived in and what happened in those periods and how they died and how all that stuff that he has learnt and shows extra interest in, he's learnt by himself. So I consider that the majority of his actual learning that he's done has been unschooling, because when he's become passionate about something, he has figured it out himself. He's researched it, he's looked it up, and he goes through stages where it was space, it was dinosaurs, it was science, it was chemicals, it was like he's into Rubik's cubes at the moment. I know that isn't necessarily educational, but I guess as far as 4-dimensional shapes and things go, 3-dimensional shapes, he's learning about that. So that kind of stuff he's learned himself, because that's the kind of stuff he's been passionate about. Charlie is a high achiever at school as well, and he's doing really, really well in the public school. And Matilda is above average across the board, like as far as their rankings go. I mean, she's a really good reader. She's picking up maths quite well, but she absolutely loves the social interactions. But at the same time, there is a very, very large homeschooling group in the mountains where I live, and should we have gone the other route, you know, they would have quite easily been socialised. They do a lot of excursions into the city, to the museums, to the, you know, they go all over the place, and they meet 2-3 times a week to do stuff together. So I have no doubt that homeschooling is an absolutely fantastic idea, and unschooling even more so. I think unschooling would have been absolutely brilliant for Harry. I also had the opposition of my partner. He's very traditional schooling. He still works in a university, so he believes in traditional schooling. And also we do live with my mother-in-law, and she has some input into, you know, things as well. So she was also against homeschooling. And as I said, I do eventually have to go back to work if we're going to ever own any property or, you know, anything like that. So it was a choice that we had to make, and so far they have not been disadvantaged by being in the public school. The public schools in Australia are really quite good. Obviously the private schools are better, but I can't afford to pay $12,000 a year per child for a private school. So yeah, that's I love homeschooling. A lot of my friends in the mountains through my natural parents group are homeschoolers, and I love when their kids come to our park meets and things, and having conversations with them is just great. There's a few that are really quirky, and I just love having conversations with their kids. So I'm absolutely for homeschooling, absolutely for unschooling, and but this is the path that we've chosen. So I look forward to seeing what the other girls have to say. I'm not sure that any of the other girls have older children as old as my kids. I'm not sure, I can't remember. So, you know, I guess it is a bit different as they get older. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Bye.